What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another New World video. In this guide I'm going to show you exactly how I built out the super overpowered bow and show you all the stuff that I got, and I got all of the stuff for the setup for under 500 gold, so you can actually do this on a budget. Now it took me quite a while to find all of the clothing that I needed and the gems and everything like that, and I'm going to show you exactly everything that I got so you can go and build out a similar setup to this. This is a very strong setup. It's probably the strongest one I've created so far, and this is really good for mid-level players to kind of like 38 and onwards. A lot of the stuff that I got I needed to be level 38, but I think you could also do something similar to this if you are a lower level as well. So first of all, what we need to do, we're going to go like over all of the gear that I have and everything like that, but first of all we need to jump into the we're going to do the weapon points soon, but attributes. So this is really important when you're trying to build out, let's just call this a class for example. You're going to want to figure out what kind of weapons you're going to run. So I run the sword and the bow. Now, in this case, I mainly use the bow, but when you're using something like the sword and the bow, or the sword and the musket, or the rapier and the bow and the rapier and the musket, you want to go, you just want to max out your dexterity as much as you possibly can, because it's going to buff up your damage. So our damage is at 443 for the sword, and 602 for the bow, which is really good. But you also want to have a little bit of constitution. The reason is because I like to keep my health above 4,000. It's because the bow is kind of like a mid-range weapon. You're still going to be in close proximity to, if you're doing PvP and stuff, to enemies. So you kind of do want to have a little bit of extra health just in case. So that's why I like to leave my constitution up just a little bit, just at least get it to this node here, this point here. But this is essentially the setup that I've done here. Now the dexterity is really pumped up because of the clothing that I have on, the armor. So if we go into here, we'll start with the armor, then we'll go over the jewels, and then we'll go over the actual weapon. So for the head, I have dexterity and constitution, so +9 dexterity, +6 constitution. Now you're not always going to find the perfect gear, okay? It did take me a long time to find this gear. Now for the perk, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's really hard to find the perfect stuff, so the perk didn't really matter in this instance. Gear score 410. This one here, dexterity of 15 plus, so this was a real big one. I had to pick this up, and all of this stuff cost me like 30 gold, 20 gold, 50 gold. I did all of this for under 500 gold. And the gloves is another big one, so dexterity +9 and then constitution. So you notice that I'm doing basically dexterity and constitution. Now I did have one here that is this one here that I was rocking as well, that was +6 strength and dexterity, just to give my sword a bit of a buff, but I don't really need that right now. So yeah, 16 plus dexterity, and then this one is a +15 dexterity, plus I put a Onyx gem in, just to give me a 2% physical damage absorption, okay? And the perks, I don't really worry about the perks too much, because it's like rolling the dice. You're never really going to get the perfect one. Now, for the jewelry, I have a necklace or an amulet that is 14 plus dexterity, and I have a 2.5% arcane, I think that's how you pronounce it, damage absorption. Now this is where things get a little bit interesting. My weapon is super powerful, so it's got 602 damage because of the dexterity and stuff. Now a lot of people say to me, how does your weapon glow, right? Like, how's it got that blue glow or that orange glow? That is because I put a gem on. It's a sapphire, a brilliant sapphire, that converts 40% of damage into arcane. So it's a buff. It's really, really cool, and it helps in a lot of situations. But if you're not going to put one of these on gems, I would suggest putting an Onyx. Now I guess that's how you pronounce it. Now this is a flawed one, but you probably want to put like a stronger one on the bow. However, this bow cost me 40 gold, and it has a 20 plus dexterity. So this was really important to me. 20 plus dexterity. Now I have another one here, and if I actually put this one on, you'll see that it's flames. So this shoots flame arrows. Okay. Now this one here was I could do this at level 35, and it has a plus 18 dexterity. Damage is 573, a little bit lower, but it's still pretty strong. So even at like level 30, 35, you can get really good weapons, and it has an enhanced thing. So light and heavy attacks deal 7.7% more damage. Okay, now what's more important here is you'll notice that I have the 40% of damage is converted to arcane. If we go down to my ring here, this ring gives me plus 16 dexterity as well, but it also gives me you deal 4.1% more arcane damage. So this pairs really nice with my bow. It's like the perfect setup with my bow. So this converts 40% of my damage to arcane, and I also get a 4.1% buff of my arcane damage. Now we're going to go shoot some enemies right now, and I don't have any food buffs on or anything like that. We're going to shoot a few enemies, and then I'm going to show you my weapon stats. Now this is all light armor, okay? When you're doing bow stuff, you want to be rocking light armor because you're mid-range, you want to be moving quick, you want to be getting out of the way when you can, like rolling back, rolling sideways. So you get essentially 3 rolls. So 1, 2, 3. You use 20 stamina each time. You have to be rolling light armor. It's just something you have to be doing when you're rocking this bow setup. Now this I look quite like strange because I have like an old skinning outfit on, but this is what, you know, you have to really find what's best for you stat wise. I don't care what I look like. So we've got an enemy here. We did. Alright, so I'm going to try and get a critical hit on him. And I just did like over 2,000 damage on this guy. A little bit more there. So that was 3 hits. Now he's a lower level than me, but 3 hits with the bow is pretty good. We'll just do this guy as well. But you'll notice, I'll hit him on the body, and you'll notice there's 2 damage scores. One of them is the main damage score, and one of them is the arcane damage score. Oh, he got me pretty good then. I should have moved out of the way. But you'll see that this is super strong. If you get 2 criticals, you should easily be able to do them and just do a long shot on this guy's head. Wow, yeah, see, we nearly got him. He's pretty much dead, nearly. Oh, that's a terrible shot. Right? So this is super powerful stuff. And in PvP it's really good as well. I'll be doing a video on that. Now let's actually go over the stats of the actual weapon. So the points. Now I don't actually have a lot of points for this weapon, because I haven't really been using it that much. I've only just did this setup. But check this out. So I have this one on here. Now the reason you want to have this one on here, the evade shot, is because if you're close to an enemy and you need to get the hell out of there really quick, you can push your, you can do your shot and you bounce back. Okay, it gets you out of sticky situations. That's really the only reason why I use that one. And then I have it on evade shot causes knockdown of 2 meters. It's not really something you really need, but I put it on to unlock the rest. Now what I do have, this is really, really important, is after you dodge, deal 20% more damage for 5 seconds. This is a really good one, because essentially what I can do, let's go find an enemy real quick. Right, you see this enemy right here? If I want to deal 20% more damage to him right now, all I'm going to do is roll back, and then I get a 5% buff, and now I'm doing 20% damage. And I can pump 3 arrows into him at 20+% damage. And all I got to do is roll back, and it gives me that perk. Or roll forward, or roll sideways. That's something you really, really want to have on. Another important one is deal 20% more damage to foes at least 10 meters away. Now this one here pairs really nice with this one. Increase arrow distance before start of gravity by 100%. So what this means is your arrows essentially go further before they get a drop. So you can get much longer distance on it. Now the rest of them, let's have a look here. The rest of the ones that I'm rocking with here are is the poison shot. This is really good for when you're in group situations. So you've got group enemies. You can do the poison shot if you don't know what it is. Oh, there's no enemies around here. But essentially it's a poison shot. And when you shoot it, won't do it there, but it gives off a cloud of poison. So it's really good in group situations. Now, what I also have is heavy attack arrow fly faster and deal 30% more damage. Now, a lot of people get confused with what a heavy attack is on the bow. So this is a light attack. This is a light attack. A heavy attack is when you hold this for a long period of time and you pull the arrow all the way back. It has to be fully extended back. This is now a heavy attack, okay? So if you go aim and shoot straight away, that's a light attack. If you shoot like that, that's a light attack. If you hold, pull all the way back, that's a heavy attack. This is from the research that I've done. I'm not sure if it's like 100% correct, but let me just show you this poison arrow. See, there's a little cloud there. So yeah, you definitely want to do this setup. It's so good. And then we've got if your target is below 50 health, deal 20% more damage. So like if you do a dodge and you get 20% more damage, and then you do a heavy attack, you get 30% more, and then if they're below health, you get 20% more there. You can really do some damage. And then this one here, heavy attack deals plus 20% damage to foes with 100 health as well. So this setup is a really, really good setup for kind of like mid-level players. I don't have a lot of points here. I'm just over halfway. But this is a really, really good setup for me. This is what's worked extremely well for me. And I can just, it's so good. Like I can just demolish enemies. Especially with those criticals. Alright guys, so I hope that helped you out if you're trying to build out a bow setup. This is the dexterity, this is the constitution, this is the bow skills right here. There's a lot more I could do here to make this better, but I just haven't got the points right now, but I will make it better. This is more for mid-level players. And then these are the, this is the stuff that I have here. It's mainly dexterity and a little bit of constitution. And then this paired nicely here with this bow. And then this is the fire bow as well that I have, which converts into fire. It just, the point of this, it's really cool. I just like the effects of it on the weapon. Alright guys, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.